Well, I've been involved in making eco bottles for the school so that people don't use disposable plastic bottles. We've also done a couple of garden competitions where we make like an eco garden to try and collect water from rainfall. Young people are people that can make the most difference at the moment, so it's good to influence and like educate them on that kind of subject.
Yeah, it is definitely something I care about. I feel like if we don't act on it, it won't be good in the next few years, and now's the perfect time to start acting about it.
First things that I did was kind of using learning for sustainability in my own classroom to be a solution to any problem. So I decided with the faculty head to do the One Planet Pocket Picnic garden competition. So they won one of the designs and got to build their garden and take it through to the Garden Roadshow in Edinburgh. So that was the kind of initial catalyst to start saying, we can bring different aspects of learning for sustainability into the classroom. As then we kind of moved through, it was then about embedding it into the curriculum. So we did have an eco garden that's getting kind of fixed up now, so trying to get more pupils out there and kind of embedding outdoor learning in the curriculums. When lockdown hit, it was then learning more about the Sustainable Development Goals and trying to embed that and use that in every department across the school. So when BGE came back for blended learning, they got a couple of goals every time they came in for a session. So they were learning about your climate action and gender equality and zero hunger, but really focusing on the actions that they and society can take to improve that situation. So your SDGs are absolutely linked to your care, fairness, trust, respect, respect of your planet and the other people that you share with. So really, our values are really linked to the Sustainable Development Goals. I think because of that, it's been really easy to fit the Sustainable Development Goals into the curriculum because it is part of our school community, it is part of our ethos that we are wanting to promote these different goals.
The catalyst for me was at lockdown when we had to come back to the blended learning model in such a short period of time. Sean and our team put themselves forward to create a bank of lessons that were the responsibility for all to deliver, and the feedback from staff and pupils was excellent. They really enjoyed the content. In the words of one of the pupils, they really enjoyed learning about things that mattered to them.
When we had blended learning, where there was smaller class sizes, we really had that opportunity to trial all of this out on a bigger scale. We were really pushing these goals as being the highlight, especially with a long time out of education. We thought these 17 goals are really what's important just now. We got really good feedback from the pupils and the teachers in terms of their enjoyment of it, but what they actually got out of it as well was quite valuable. So we thought this has worked really well. We want the whole school to become involved. So we now teach sustainability. It's on the timetable. S1s and S2s get a double period a week for it, where they're solely in for sustainability learning. So the S1s at the moment are touching on each of the 17 goals, one a week. What's really good about it is now that we have the time for it, if there's something that the pupils are really liking and focusing on, then we can take their interests and expand on it. So we now have that dedicated time. The learning mostly is discussion based and pupil led learning, so they kind of drive their ideas forward and create their own projects. So they've liked that side of it where it's maybe a bit more practical. They are really interested in these issues and they recognise the importance, which I was at the start of this. I was pleasantly surprised by the reception from the pupils.
It's about creating a better future for all of us. Yes, we're looking at the climate, looking at social justice, creating a fairer society for all of them. It's about get them understanding the role that they can play in creating a better future. It's about kind of developing those values within the pupils moving forward. So when they leave here, they take them through their life and they contribute to a wider, better society. What was really positive was the fact that it wasn't a science teacher could be delivering this or an art teacher could be delivering it, and for me that was about it modelled to the pupils that this is everyone's responsibility. So For the pupils, it was great to see that. This is all of our community and all of our world, so it's all of our responsibility to make a difference.
And that was kind of the one main challenge at the start, was how are other teachers in other subjects maybe going to feel about teaching something that might be a bit outside of their comfort zone. So every teacher has the responsibility. Now, the same way that we do with literacy and numeracy, sustainability is a responsibility for all, and it's been really good to see other staff members coming on board with this too. So we've had a couple of training sessions for the staff, and all the resources that we've developed are all there centrally, so it has been a really smooth process, and if there's anything that maybe someone's not sure about, they know just to come to us, and we can help them with that. So really, even if you have a sustainability class, it's not just your class, everyone's got that responsibility, and we all kind of help each other out, so it has been really positive that way.
And they were learning new things from teachers that they weren't used to having those types of conversations with. So talking to their art and music teacher about social issues, and those teachers who tend to not have those conversations come up in class were coming up to me and saying, that was great, like I feel as if I was getting something out. There's people that, like, because they don't really enjoy art, they were loving it, like, and they were telling me all about racism and how that has an impact on people, and how people of colour are actually more impacted by climate change and other things. And they said they've never really said anything in my class before.
In one of our classes called Interdisciplinary, we've been learning about all the global goals. We've been learning about gender equality and how women aren't very treated fairly, and we're trying to have no poverty. We've also been learning about a good education and how kids have to travel through really dangerous situations just to get to school. No hunger as well, and how people say, like, Africa or something like that, they don't have much food.
Oh, it's really helpful to know, like, this sort of stuff that's happening to the planet, and then you also get to find out like more about how the school can help and how you can help, and then you feel better about yourself for putting yourself forward for helping the matter.
And we've recently entered a Dragon's Den competition, so we had to create an idea to help with the school, which will then be sent off to be judged.
I think the pupils are starting to make those connections, whereas it was all these different projects working alongside each other. They're now starting to see these connections.
And I think starting off in blended learning was great, and we've actually managed to maintain those smaller class sizes, so the kind of practical sets, which is around 20 children or less. Well, and because it's not focused on assessment or exams, it's just seen as relevant to what's going on in their daily lives. You get a lot of buy-in from the kids. Over the next few months, our pupils will be electing a member of Renfrew Parliament, and we're trying to step it up beyond pupil council. That was something that our head pupils really wanted. They want a process of focusing on ideas and solutions rather than just there's somebody in the class that likes to lead, so therefore they go on and do it. And the pupil parliament will take in a few different things talking that actually impact the full of the school population, so the full student body. But there will be committees that will focus on specific things. So we've got an LGBT committee, we've got a culture club committee that will basically look at different race and religion and how we celebrate that in school, which also becomes part of sustainability, just to give them an avenue to get those ideas up to the top and not just sit with them in the class.
Just this week, actually, there was a Cleaner Greener Jobs workshop that was delivered by the Glasgow Science Centre that all of the S2 classes took part in, and this really kind of highlighted that the skills they are learning in the sustainability classes, the skills that they are learning through these 17 goals will actually help them in the future. The cleaner, greener jobs kind of sector just now is only going to get bigger and bigger. We need more flood management, we need peat conservation. So it was good for them to kind of see where sustainability can actually take them, because it can open more doors for the pupils when they leave school. All does really stem from the leadership, and Billy, our head teacher, he is very passionate about sustainability, so that does stem down through the workforce with Shona, our lead sustainability teacher as well.
The culture is massive, so getting the culture is really, really important, but without the structures, it can't happen. So as I suppose a senior leadership team, we need to facilitate it, we need to allow it to happen.
Having a lead teacher role really focuses on it. It gives you the time in order to do that, and also brings a lot of value to learning for sustainability to the staff, school and your young people. Creating a lead teacher role is a choice that a head teacher can make. Don't be overwhelmed, because when you start looking at learning for sustainability, because it is everything, it feels like there's lots that you can do. know what's important to your school and your young people, and then making a start. Like, you have to start with something. So once you start with one thing, it can build and build and build. Yeah, so right now it's the actual curriculum change has been mainly in the broad general education, so starting kind of from that ground up approach. But what we want to see is, as you move into the senior phase, your subject choices reflect your learning for sustainability.
Don't be afraid of it, because it is a big thing putting something on new to the timetable, but if you've got the team who can work well together to develop these resources, it really isn't a big increase on your workload, because everyone takes a section, develops it, and then that's you with the resources, you can share it. And I think the outcomes and the kind of impact of the learning overrides kind of everything else, and you will see how passionate these young people are and how engaged they are in the classes with the discussion, and I think that really is the winner.
Just start doing it. Start with something small. Start with something you're passionate about. Focus on that one thing and try and make a difference in your own little circle.
Definitely start it. The teachers will enjoy it and the kids will enjoy it.